there, welcome to Wellness and Care by Laurie. I am with Robert Althuis, author, entrepreneur.
All those things.
All those things. Keep
All
going,
those
Robert.
things.
Artist,
No,
builder.
it's all good. It's
all
all
right.
good.
So we're going to talk about finite games versus infinite games.
That's right.
Let's talk. That's another chapter of his new book.
Right. And we're still just talking about foundational stuff.
Okay.
And so I love this. There's a book called by that name by James P. Cars, which is a fantastic little read. It's only 150 pages. It's really brilliant. It's a little metaphoric in the way it's set up. So for some people it might not be a little too fluffy, but there's beautiful wisdom in it. So finite games and infinite games. You know, the way we play life, you know, in our Western society especially, is really about finite games. So what are finite games about? Well, finite games are really, first of all, the purpose of finite games is to win, right? There's a winner at the end of a finite game. Now, for there to be the winner, there's got to be at least two people playing, because by yourself, you can't be a winner. So there's going to be two or more players. Now, a player can be a team or a person. That's another notion of a finite game. Now, a finite game also has boundaries, because it's played over a certain amount of time or a certain geography or a certain area. So it could be, you know, because at some point you have to have a temporal boundary, because at some point you got to declare the winner, right? It can't just go on forever, because then there's never a winner. And the point is to win. Now, there's also spatial boundaries. So, you know, if I say, well, I want to be the best Pilates, you know, instructor in the world. Well, now you've put a spatial boundary around it, because you didn't say I want to be the best wellness practitioner in the world. I want to be the Pilates instructor, right? So now there's like a game that you define by a boundary. So you're up against all other Pilates instructors. But a yoga instructor is not your competition. You're not in competition with them. You're not competing with them, right? Because you just defined it as that.
As Pilates, yeah.
Now, the beautiful thing is if you don't, I mean, it's impossible for you not to end up number one, but you know, for the person that ends up number 2, 3, 4, and 5, there's a conciliatory prize called ranking. Because, you know, many of the games we play in life, ranking kind of counts too, right? So if you're not the winner, at least you can be ranked. So if you can't win Wimbledon, you can still be the number 7 player in the world, or whatever, right? If you, and you know, rankings are actually sometimes the whole game. The Fortune 500 richest people, right? You are relevant to that list if you're among the 500 richest, wealthiest people in the world. But if you're Joe Smo with $95 billion and you're 501 on the world list, you're irrelevant to that list. You are not in that finite game. Maybe next year you will be, but this year you're irrelevant, right? You're not even ranked. So you certainly didn't win it because you weren't number one, right? I think Elon Musk is number one now. But you know, if you're number 501, you're still incredibly wealthy, but you're just completely irrelevant for that game. So finite games is really how our world is defined, right? We play this in careers and in our personal aspirations, and to some extent even in our relationships and everything else. And this is really the game man plays. This is what humanity plays on Earth, right? We're in, and this is between nations, this is between teams, this is between, you know, religions, between groups. Which is the biggest religion? Which is the biggest group? Which is the most powerful group? Which is the best country? Which is like, you know, all that stuff. It's all a finite game on some level. Now the game Spirit plays has different rules, and the game Spirit plays, this is really the one infinite game. Now, an infinite game has no precise beginning and it has no definitive end. It's just played for eternity. It's infinite, right? This is really what life is all about. We're here playing the infinite game. There's another notion that if you want to play anything, right, there's an immutable law that if you want to play, you got to do so freely. Because you cannot be compelled to play and call it play. So whoever must play cannot play. Now, if you want to play life freely, it means you have to freely choose it. Now, that's possible when you play the infinite game. And the infinite game is about how beautiful is my spiritual art that I can bring into creation. How how great can I be? It's me against me. Like, how great can I be?
Don't you have to be lawful? Like playing your...
Of course,
Yes.
we still
You got
live
me.
in physical reality,
Physical reality.
but I'm talking about, like, you know, how much greatness. I'm not going to compare myself with Laurie, because it's kind of ludicrous to do so on any level, because I am not Laurie and you're not Robert. There's only one Robert.
So you feel that so many people in this world today...
We're competing with everybody.
competing.
And unless we're recognized by someone else in some ranking, some game, and we usually measure that by money and toys and memorabilia,
it
like
makes-
trophies. You know, finite games are played for trophies, right? The trophies are money, status, accolades, houses, cars, you know, all this stuff that we accumulate. Those are the trophies in finite games. And then, you know, I want to get more trophies than you have, so that makes me a better person than you are, right?
Yeah.
Even though none of these trophies you can
Plays
bring with you.
Plays tricks on your mind.
And you know, a hurricane comes through in West Florida, and like all your trophies are in the ocean. So it's like,
See them going bye-bye.
you know,
Yeah.
this is a very
That's-
impermanent reality, right? There's nothing permanent except that inner part of you. That's permanent. That's eternal. That's playing the eternal game. Now, that deepest part of you, whether you know it or not, is playing the eternal game,
Is that what you did?
called growth and evolution.
And that's what...
Well, I came to the realization that I
That
was
you-
playing finite games.
games, and now you're...
But here's the kicker. So you can play finite games within finite games. You can play a finite game within an infinite game. But you cannot play the infinite game within a finite game. Now, if you choose to freely play the infinite game, that's the real game I'm playing. Now you can actually freely choose to play any finite game with
Got it.
freedom. Because the outcome of that game doesn't define you anymore. That's not the game you're playing.
Gotcha.
The
Gotcha.
game you're playing is like, how much spiritual maturity and art can I bring into creation? How beautiful of a person can I become? How pure and loving and compassionate and, you know, how much beauty can I bring into creation in all aspects, right? In the work I do, the person I am, the people I love. Now we're working on our spiritual art. That's our main game. That's the eternal game, actually. That's all your reincarnations, and you do this over and over and over until you refine it over time. This is the game the universe is playing. It's just evolving, growing, experiencing itself, getting more beautiful, more refined, more better all the time. Now, once you realize that's really the game you're playing, first of all, you can't lose, right? Because tomorrow you wake up, you can just start all over again. So you screwed up today, something went wrong, right? You own it, tomorrow you do better. Like, you're just evolving over millions of years. I mean, what are you worried about? One little screw up, right? And like, if you play a finite game in that mentality, and you don't win or you're not even ranked, that's not going to define you as a person. The question you ask yourself is like, did I play it as hard as I could? Did I play beautiful? Did I like show up? Did I try? What can I learn from this experience? I move on. So because we're not trying to become somebody anymore, and within not trying to become somebody, we can be anybody.
Yeah.
Because we're okay being nobody.
Love it. I'm going to end you right there. Do you have anything else to say? Because that was perfect ending.
No, well, if you say it's a perfect ending, I'm going to
No,
shut
no,
up.
no. Oh.
No, I'm going to shut up. Because I can keep going. I mean, like, you know, there's an endless well of
My
stuff.
brain right now is going like this. I'm thinking, and he's got me thinking. But that was wonderful, Robert. That was wonderful. Thank you. Do you have anything else to say? I don't want to.
No, I just want to
Yeah,
invite people to sit with it, because these are concepts that maybe you haven't heard them in this kind of framework.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start thinking about it, you will recognize finite games. You're playing a lot of finite games, but not freely. Because if you must play, meaning you have some conditioning
Right.
that you must play, you have to be the best lawyer, the best housewife, the best this or what, to be somebody. Right? To be loved, to be lovable, to be worthy, to be valuable, to like be something. You can't play because you must play. There's no freedom in it.
Got it. I got it.
And you can get to a place in life where you can play life but you have to reframe how you see life. And now you can play any finite game freely. Choose it to play it freely. Emphasis on play, because life is supposed to be fun. It doesn't have to be this slug. I'm going to leave with this one, which is my favorite quote.
Yes.
One of my favorite quotes.
What?
Life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. Follow your bliss. Joseph Campbell.
I love that quote.
We play. We're supposed to play. Life is supposed to be fun. Even the bad moments should be play.
Love that. We're gonna end with that. Thanks,
All right.
Robert. Thanks, subscribers, for tuning in. New subscribers, welcome. Please leave a comment. Sounding off from Boca Raton, Florida. Bye bye.